All right, everybody, welcome back. Day 3.1. We're going to move down the tools here on the left down to the text tool. Yes, we've gone over the text tool before, but in Photopea, it's a little different. There's a couple things that are a little different that I've noticed while working on my first project to show you guys. It works pretty much the same, but I'm going to go through it. So let's go ahead and type. Let's click on it. And you're going to notice up top here, we have our fonts and we have regular bold italics. So if we go to something else, and let's just come down here, notice we can have all kinds of things here on the left and right. We have the black letter, the grunge, the hand drawn, everything in that we're looking for, or everything that is encapsulated that they have for fonts. If you want to be specific, if you want a sans serif or just a script, just click on those, and of course, all the other ones will go away. It looks awesome. You can also find a font if you know which one you're looking for, or you can actually load a font through defont.com, I believe. Have not done it, but it's telling me that I can do that. I would prefer you just to work with what we have in Photopea. They have got a ton. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they have. So I'm going to come here and just pick this one right here. Looks good. And you're going to find out I have regular, I've got my size here, which is in pixels, my color, and of course my justification left, right, and center, and then warp too. So let's go ahead and we're going to click and we're going to type, and you're going to notice there it is, it's massive, and we'll bring it down. And of course, we're going to do Moran is king. Come here, let's type that. Moran is king. Yes, I am. And notice if I go to warp, I come on over here, and you have your styles. And right now we have none, but notice it looks just like Photoshop or even Illustrator. It's impressive what they have. You can move this around so you can actually see it. If I click on it, it does show it. And of course, we can mess with it. Okay, horizontal, the vertical distortions looks the same. Really impressed with it. I really like it a lot. So very, very cool. My orientation, horizontal or vertical, that makes a difference too. Notice if I'm doing that, it sways this way and sways that way. I kind of like how this right here actually sways with it too. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just going to leave everything as normal, but I just wanted to go through that. If you like it, of course, hit the check mark. If not, we're just hit the X, and we're going to leave it as such. Okay, so we're all done with that. Get over here. Okay. Another thing I'm finding out is sometimes it works with a click, and sometimes it doesn't. And it was frustrating when I was doing my piece. And you may get a little frustrated with it, but please know that this is a brand new program. It's got its shortcomings, but overall, it is a very robust program, and I'm very pleased with it. I can actually go ahead and we can do a text box. Now, I tell you that's the worst thing you could possibly do is a text box, but I'm going to type this out and write as king again. It is amazing. Once I go to the move, it actually breaks the text box and moves it down to just what I've typed. I think that's brilliant. I'm able to take it and manipulate it and do all kinds of cool things with it. So that's one thing that Photoshop and Illustrator don't do. You have your text box and it stays within it. This one actually, you can make a text box and it actually eliminates it to whatever you text it to and condenses it down, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's go and do another text box, and we're going to drag it like this, and we're going to type something new in there, and we're going to say, love my e-learning. Yes, I've heard the groans, and I probably heard some chuckles. Hopefully, it made chuckles than anything else. It's funny. I'm sorry, but it's funny for me. I do love our e-learning. This has actually been an awesome experience for me. So let's get back to this. On your right-hand side, you're going to see it says info. It's going to say properties. It's going to say a whole bunch of other things, brushes. We have characters. So we are able to manipulate the actual character themselves. So if I come up here and highlight it, notice I can type in another number, like say 105, and once I tab it, notice it gets bigger. We also have tracking, that is spacing in between. So if I go a 20, a plus 20, notice the spacing in between actually gets bigger. We also call it kerning, and that's the actual real thing. It's not called tracking, we call it kerning. And then we also have our leading, and then this one, it's usually on auto. If you come here and click on your leading pixels, what will happen is if you bring it smaller, notice you can get a little closer with it. So you can mess with the spacing in between too, and you can go to whatever you want and put in whatever you would like to put into. So if you want more space in between, you can by all means. Okay, we're gonna leave that on auto for right now. This, of course, is your height, and this is your width. So if you want to say maybe let's go 120, let's go. Oh, let's go like 75. And we hit the tab button. Notice it condenses it down, but you can do that also with just using the box. Also here we have other things. We can make it so it does italics, you name it, everything is normal here. So it's relatively the same thing. Again, we can do our paragraphs, we can center justify it, we can change our spacing also too. So it's really, really, really good. You should know these things, but I just wanted to go over them just to be on the safe side. But again, the best thing I like about this is when I click here, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, it's here. It moves. I can do whatever I want. It's very, very cool. Something that is not normal with Photoshop or Illustrator. Okay, so that is for text, and we'll leave it there. Our next thing we're going to talk about is the pen tool and the shape tool, and it'll be day 3.2. Have a good day, peeps. Talk to you later. Okay, one last thing about text, and we're going to make another box here. I'm just going to put a letter in here, and we'll put down M, my favorite letter. And we'll make it much bigger, but let's just do it. We'll make it simpler. We'll make it bigger. And I want you to see that there's M over here on the text in the layers. You can see it right there. It says M, just like Photoshop. Whatever you type out, it'll be in there. But the cool thing is we have the effects still. They call it the layer style, but we call it FX in Photoshop. And you know it on the bottom of the layers, you'll see that the letter F and X, it's that nice serif font. And it's exactly the same. So when I click on this, you'll see it. Everything, bevel and emboss, stroke, inner shadow, inner glow, you name it, it's there, including the drop shadow. So let's go to the blending options like I like to do. And it looks relatively the same. So it may be a little slow. I am casting this at about 7:30, so it may be a little slower than normal because a lot of people could be beyond this. But I'm just going to go ahead and click the bevel and embossed. And yeah, I was right. It's working slow. But notice you can see it. It looks great. I have, of course, it says my blending options are right here. Of course, I want to click on the bevel and emboss and notice the changes. I'm able to change the size. Everything's the same. And again, it's a little lagging right now because of what's happening, but you can see it's changing. I can change the angle of it. I even have the different contours. Everything that is that Adobe Photoshop has, this has. And it's absolutely wonderful. And again, if we click on this, you can see the different types. If I do something like this, it's going to take, again, see it's a little different, a little bit more rounded. It's absolutely wonderful. Even from a hard chisel to a soft to an inner bevel, it's all there. Very, again, robust. We can put strokes on it. We can do the drop shadows. We can add several together. So let's give it a drop shadow on top of it. And again, it's running a little slow just because of it. And you can see my drop shadow, and I can do all kinds of things with this going on here. So again, click on the drop shadow. We can do our opacity. Let's make it a little bit, but we're going to go back with it. And again, I'm sorry this is slow, peeps, but I can only record right now. But you can start seeing it. Let's give it some distance. Yep, I start seeing it right here. You can see by the angle, it's the same angle as the bevel and emboss. So if I change one, the other happens. I can do the spread, I can do the size. Everything, again, is the same. So I'm really pleased with this. This is something that I truly was worried about. You guys can do some great stuff when we start putting titles into or putting words into our products that are be coming up. And this will help you out tremendously to give you a nice, good look. Okay. So yes, again, once you say it, hit the OK button. And we're going to come down here. You'll see it says EFF right here in my layers. Okay. And there's a little triangle. If I click it, it'll tell you what you have. And of course, you can take off what you want, all of them together, or each individual one to see how it looks. So it works really well. And again, reflecting Photoshop. I know I'm repeating that over and over again, but I want the people that cannot get Photoshop to realize they're getting the same experience. This will definitely apply over when we come back to school. Okay, so that's the end of text, and we'll start with the pen tool and the actual shape tool on day 3.2. Have a good day, peeps.